closing bell on the 4th of June. This week I'm going to focus on the gas crisis that we've got going on at the moment. I think there's a few stocks out there that aren't really seeing a lot of buying yet, but I think they could be ones to benefit over the next year or two. I've already given you a few of these in the past. I'm sure if you've been watching these videos for a while, you'll remember me mentioning Beach Petroleum a while ago, around $1.20. We'll have a look at how that's been going. And there's a few others as well. Now I'll start by saying some of these are actually already in portfolios in my services, but we're in, and I'll let you know the stocks that we are in and why I think they're looking all right, especially now that we've moved on to what is pretty much a bit of a crisis going on in that gas space, and that's related to the electricity prices going nuts as well. So let's jump and have a look at a couple of these stocks that I think could benefit over the next 6 months to a year as things carry on. So let's just jump to the charts and have a look at a few of these stocks that I have on my radar at the moment. First up, this one is in one of the portfolios that I run. And this is a very long-term chart of Blue Energy. Now, they have a lot of stranded gas, and I guess the risk is higher at the moment for them because with the election happening, there is a lot of pressure from the Greens now that the Greens have a bit of power in the Senate. Will these stranded gas assets be developed? They need a pipeline to run past some of their projects, but they have a lot of gas. So this is, I guess, a situation in Blue Energy where if they can actually get those pipelines up and running and get their gas to market, they're going to be worth a hell of a lot more than where they're trading now. But you have to take on that risk. And what if the Greens just don't want any of these projects developed? Then it will be the ones, the companies that already have projects running, that already have projects close to market. They are the ones that will probably increase in value more because the other projects won't get developed. But now that we are seeing quite a crisis developing, I think Labor realises that they do need to develop some projects. You can't just snap a finger and have everything change and get rid of gas. There's no doubt about that. So let's just have a look at Blue Energy on this chart. And again, this one, if it doesn't get up, if they don't get the pipelines, maybe it's worth nothing. But if it does happen over the next few years, it's going to be worth many multiples of this price. So that's the sort of situation we're looking at. And just technically on this quarterly chart, so every bar is 3 months trading. And you can see it's had a few false starts in the past, 2016 to 2018, ran to 20 cents. The heat came out of it there. Then we had another run, 2020 to 2021, up to about 10 cents. And, this is what I like to see is the large retracements and then the U-turn, things turning up. And then I'm looking for the buy signal. But I usually use a shorter term buy signal to actually enter stocks, but I just wanted to show you the actual setup on these quarterly charts. And you can see in this last rally that we've had, if I just look at that whole range and, analyze the pullback that we've had, you can see prices pulling all the way back over, and that's a year's worth of selling. So you can imagine people who'd bought this stock in here, they certainly would have gotten frustrated during the year when prices were selling off, and a lot of them would have been shaken out at a loss. But then we've had another turnaround here, big U-turn, a rally. So that quarterly buy pivot, I'm then looking at that and trying to work out, where's the best spots to be buying. And now that we've got that in place, you know, the big picture turning positive. And so you're looking to pick this one up when you can. If I'm looking at the monthly chart, you'll see that the monthly trend's turning back up as well. We did get a monthly buy pivot quite a few months ago, and we've had another good, strong rally on that monthly, and that's what I call the key bar, when you get a monthly close above the high of that buy pivot. So that's just like, you know, things stepping higher slowly. And you're looking at that and saying, okay, where do I want to buy it based on that key bar? And that's often a good spot around that point of control. So it is slowly trying to head higher. If we look at the daily, you know, we're having quite a good day today, heading up towards 8.5, doing quite a bit of drilling at the moment at a big prospect as well. And that one's quite close to pipelines. Wouldn't take too much to get that one up and running. And look, they've got so much gas really. Yeah, if anything comes online over the next few years, like I said, this one should really get going. But you're taking it on, and look, it could take time. When you don't have a timeline on when these things are going to get done, governments always stuff around forever, don't they? And you always get delays, don't you? And that's when stocks will slowly sell off again. So it's one of those ones where you put it in the bottom drawer, thinking, look, if it all comes off, it should go a lot higher. Another one, I did show you Beach. I just wanted to give you an update on that Beach Energy price. I looked at this one. You'll probably remember when it was down around $1.20 and was saying this one looks interesting. This is probably good as an analysis tool when I'm, you know, showing you these things, and you can then come back later to get a sense of how it's worked out. You can see there when you're looking at the whole wave from 2016 up to 2019 in Beach Energy. You know, I'm looking where are the points where I think buying pressure should come in, and you can see there a couple of times, and coming back to the point of control and not really being able to carry on with it. But you can see right now it is just kicking up through the point of control, and it's sort of a bit of a sense that it does want to keep rallying here. I think it'll be up around 225 over the next 6 months or so. It does look pretty good. If I'm looking at the monthly on that, you can see that the long-term trend is just turning back up now on Beach Energy. You know, it's going to probably struggle a bit at that resistance around $2. But yeah, I mean, I told you about this one down around $1.20. So hopefully a few of you managed to get on that one at the time. And another one that I'm looking at, and this one is also in a portfolio of mine with one of my services, and has been for a while. This one's been a bit of a boring one. Cooper Energy, they've actually had some problems at their Orbost plant. Well, it's not their plant, but the one that they manage all of their gas through. And they are finally, I think, fixing up some of those problems and the gas production getting back to nameplate capacity. What happened there was it really was a big problem for them because they'd sold gas to people. They couldn't produce enough gas because of these problems at the plant. So they were basically short gas. So they had to buy gas at high prices on market. So all of a sudden, your earnings are going to get absolutely smashed, aren't they, in that situation? But now that situation's reversing. Gas prices are flying. As they fix up those problems, they switch from being short gas to now having gas left over after they've fulfilled their requirements of their set contract pricing. So now they have spare gas that they're selling into very high prices. So their earnings really should be kicking higher. But there is a few substantial shareholder notices coming out recently. We're seeing actual buying going on in this stock from a few different players. So it really feels like they're holding it down and accumulating at these prices. And if we do look at the long-term picture on Cooper Energy, I'm looking at this last wave again, the 2016 to 2019 rally, and I'm, focusing in on that buy zone area. We've got the monthly buy pivots have occurred. And really what's going on, this is how I like to see prices turn around, is sort of two waves to the upside with large retracements. That's often a start of that uptrend. And then once you break through the high there, that's when things can really take off. You'll see in the past, you may not be able to notice in the short term, but this is actually what was going on then. One wave there, two waves, large retracement, and then once it took out that high, that's when you get a really nice move to the upside. So things are set up there to rocket, but even though gas prices are absolutely going through the roof, this one's not really budging, and I feel like it is an accumulation going on. It's a bit of a Coke bottle getting shaken up, and up through 32 cents, I think it probably will take off. And you can see the long-term trend hasn't shifted quite yet. It's very close, but I reckon if prices do kick up through that 32 cents, you'll see that long-term trend turning up, and it should race towards that point of control up above 40 cents is where I'm expecting that one to head to. But yeah, quite interesting to me that it's just not rallying. Whether investors are scared of buying these gas stocks now, I don't know. But tell you what, as things develop over this next year, a lot of them will be probably printing cash, especially ones bringing on projects. You've got a few of them that are working on projects. Another one I've just gone into is Comet Ridge, GLL I'm looking at, Galilee Energy. There's a few things out there in that space that I think are worth going and having a look at. I don't think this problem is going to go away anytime soon. And I guess we've got to watch the greens. What are they going to do? Are they going to stop these projects getting up that are in the works? And if that happens, anyone who has projects now that is producing gas, their gas is really going to be in demand. So it's an interesting dynamic that's going on in the market. Lots of policy failures, lots of stupid things that have been done, and usually you can know that politicians are going to keep doing some dumb things and make things worse before they get better. So yeah, that's definitely an area of focus to think about if you're up for buying those sort of stocks. All right, well, I think that's enough for today. Markets are trying to bounce, keeping rallying. I told you last week, it looked like we're seeing a bit of a U-turn, and it's time for a bit of a rally, and that could carry on for a while now. But US data getting terrible, things really rolling over. I don't think the whole bad news is good news makes a lot of sense because company profits are going to start getting hit as margins get crunched. I think US markets are probably going to have a bit of trouble, and Australian markets probably will do all right, really. So it's probably setting up for a short US, long Aussie market trade, I think, and I'll maybe talk about that next week. All right, cheers. We'll check out what I'm doing at Pivot Trader and Microcaps, and I'll come back with more next week. Cheers.